Hi, so we are March 14. Now this month didn't go quite to plan as with the whole situation in Europe, which I'm not going to dive too much into. I made a painting about it, so you can check that out if you like. But yeah, it did make working really hard for me, and now I'm running a bit late, but at the same time, since the deadline are super short now, I cannot really think about anything else than work, so I guess that's a good point. So today I have to make boxes for my sculptures. So we're going to go to Brest, which is a city in the region that I live in, and we're going to bring the huge painting there, which is now framed and already packed. A smaller painting and 4 sculptures. Now the 4 sculptures I already made the outer box, but I still need to make the inlet. And yeah, today I will have to work on that. I don't exactly know how much I'm going to be able to do, but we will see. I also need to make an oil study for Evolve, so that's kind of like the two goals for today. And the third thing is I need to make a class for a ceramic congress, and I started on Friday, and I think the sculpture must be dry now. I used air dry clay. So these are basically the 3 things that I want to do today, and I'm not quite sure if I'm going to be able to make everything, but we'll see. Yeah, originally I wanted this vlog to be mostly about oil studies. And Evolve, yeah, I wanted to talk about it, but in a more vlog type of way. And now, honestly, I'm not even sure if this is going to be an option, so we'll see. Yeah. I'm going to finish my breakfast now, cuddle my old cat, and then go to work. So yeah, Wednesday I just finished all my boxes for the sculptures. So that is good. I'm happy I did that. I also started working on my class. I have a class that I have to teach for a ceramic conference. I know it's not ceramics, but I've been invited as the mixed media expert or something like that. I'm not too sure. I still have quite a bit to film for that class. I do want to make a quick intro on the different modeling clays before diving into the tutorial, and it's going to be a caterpillar. I'm thinking galaxy themed. So I did sculpt most of the caterpillar, so that is good. I'm going to cook lunch very soon. I just wanted to kind of chit chat with you. So the whole boxes did take a bit of time. I actually got asked how to go into art galleries, how to be featured there, and it's a question I get a lot. And I remember when I started out to do more arts related things, so after the miniature food era, when I started doing artworks, proper artworks, so to speak, I did wonder that too. And I remember searching for videos online, and I wanted to, I swore to myself to do a video about how to get into galleries once I get into some. And I have a solo show this year, so I figured I should talk about it a little. Now, it's not easy, or it's not like straightforward. It's going to be very different for any artist, because it's going to depend on your own location where you live and what artwork you do, and if you already have an online presence or not. So I'm going to explain how I came to exhibit in galleries, and then I will try to give you other advice that I gathered over the years. So for me personally, at the beginning, I did what most artists are told to, is to contact galleries directly, and usually the advice is to contact local galleries to you, because the assumption is that you do artwork that is very, I don't know how to say it, but very normal. I don't know. That would fit where you live, basically. Like here I live near the ocean, and I'm pretty sure that most artists here will do ocean-related artworks. I know, because I know some artists who do that. Or like very classical, anything ocean related or anything human related, so portraits maybe, and then you have the whole abstract art, so anything that is kind of expected. And when you do artwork that is expected, and I'm not saying that it's not good, so it's not a question of value or not. Every artist is valid. It just we don't all have the same collectors, so not everyone is going to react the same way to your artwork. But if you do something that is very accepted as artwork, that people have seen already, or people will look for that specific kind of art, like people will look for landscape art in for their homes to decorate, or abstract art or colorful art, that kind of stuff. So people, the collector, the buyer, has already an idea, and you happen to do one of those type of works. And in that case, you probably are going to be able, if you want to, you don't have to, gallery representation is not a must as an artist, and in fact, you might be better off selling your artwork yourself, but that is another topic. We're going to talk about that, but later, especially since I have to cook. So if you're that type of artist, if you do landscapes or portraits or abstract art or botanical art, anything that is, kind of like common, then you're pretty sure you're going to find galleries within your reach. Might be 1 hour of driving, or train or bus or wherever you live. That is going to fit your work. Now, this is very important, and that applies to all artists. You have to find galleries where your work fits in. And this is why for me it didn't work to find galleries locally, because my work doesn't fit in any of the galleries I've seen so far. They might be, I haven't found them, and I kind of gave up at some time. But yeah, so that's the thing. Now, finding galleries doesn't mean that you're going to exhibit with them, and most galleries nowadays don't really reply when you push your work. However, there are two things. Many galleries now, especially the ones that have an online presence, and the ones I work with, they sometimes are doing a sort of, how do you call that? A call to art, basically, where they're looking for new artists, for instance, and then you can send in some of your artwork and then they will review it. But from my experience, most galleries, they will not reply to your emails. I think they're just getting swamped by artists who want to exhibit with them, and so they don't. So it's kind of a loss of time. That's also why the local art gallery works for most artists, because you can physically go there, talk with that person, see if there could be some interest, be very respectful about it, and then maybe come later to a later date and show your work, and then maybe get representation, or maybe not. You have to understand that it might not work, so that's a possibility as well. So in my case, what worked best was to participate to online art competitions, and I participated to maybe 10 or I don't remember, from 10 to 20 different ones, until I had one that was life-changing. Now, it's difficult to say if it was just that competition or if it was my work getting better, because you have to start participating in online competition right at the start, even though your work might not be ripe for gallery representation. And I started like that, and then my work got better, and then I kept participating in online competitions, and at some point I did get a good representation through the Beautiful Bazaar Sculpture Award, and from then on I started getting contacted by galleries, so it was the other way around. So I'm not going to say that it's going to work for you. My work is quite particular, and it's not what you would expect. People don't think about my work, of that type of things that I do, before going to buy them. Maybe the paintings and stuff, but not the sculptural work. And in that regard, my experience is probably a little bit different from yours, but that doesn't mean that there aren't enough competitions for all styles and all types of arts. And the thing with competitions is that usually the jury are either art collectors or art galleries, and sometimes museums. So you get your work in front of the correct eyeballs. So that's always great. The second thing that I didn't really try, because at that time when I had that information, I was already starting to get contacted by galleries, so I didn't really need it anymore, but is to go through art magazines. So it can go through online magazines, and I think this is also part of my of how it worked for myself. There are many online art magazines. Some you can pay to be featured in, and it's usually not very expensive. And I mean, you get the right eyeballs, so it's better than advertisements. I would not spend any money on social media to buy ads. From what I've heard, I've never tried it, but from what I've heard, it's just pointless. But however, paying certain art magazines to get into those, that's interesting. And when I say pay, it's more have an article, so not just an actual ad, unless you're a gallery. But if you're a gallery, you're probably not watching this. So just the core idea is, when you are unknown, is to show your work in front of people that are likely to buy and promote your artwork. So that's kind of the gist of it, to get into galleries. And it takes time. You have to be patient. It takes time because you as an artist will need some time to evolve and to find your footing and your style and your statement and so on. And it also takes time because most galleries and collectors, they don't like to invest in newcomers, and they prefer artists that are a little bit more established. In that regard, because it's reassuring. A lot of collectors actually invest in the hope that your work is going to get more expensive with time, which is cute. And it doesn't always happen. But if you already have been working for a few years or a decade or even more, then they're like, oh, that person has been doing it for a long time, so it's someone who's reliable. Whereas when you just start out, then it's more difficult because you're like a complete newcomer, unless you're like genius and whatever you do is great right away. But yeah, you have to count maybe between 3 and 5 years at the start to it's going to be difficult to get your work out there. So yeah, that's kind of all I have to say about galleries that I can think of right now. And as I said, I really need to go and cook lunch, and yeah, I hope that was helpful. And yeah, don't hesitate to ask questions if I opened more questions with what I said, because it's honestly, the art world is not easy to navigate through, and it's also very region dependent. Some countries it's a lot easier, or so I've heard, and some countries like France, it's a lot more difficult to just get a grip and get any representation. So yeah, if you have more questions, I'll try to answer them in the comments below, and I'm going to go and cook. So this afternoon I'm going to do oil studies. So these are 2 oil studies I did. Now I'm following the course Evolve. It's an online course where you can learn to paint with oils, and you have exercises, and then you send them in, and then a real life teacher is going to correct you. I've been following this, the 4 blocks, the basic series. And I've done 2 blocks, and this is block 3. Now this is actually too advanced for that block, but I'm going to explain why I did that one. So right now, at the beginning of block 3, we are at this stage, which basically we are starting to learn how to mix colors, but everything that is in the shadows is basically grays. So this explains this. But I think it's probably a little bit too easy to me, and it's kind of boring. And so when we were prompted to do our own studies with our own objects, I couldn't help it, and I did a real study, and I made the actual colors as well as in the shadow and the colors. But I also think that it's much easier for me to work like that than like this, because this obligates me to deconstruct things in a very unnatural way, as wherein here I just do what I see. I'm not sure if that makes sense. I feel like when you have been doing art for a longer time, which is my case, going back to deconstructing things too much makes it more difficult than to just replicate what you see. I don't know if that makes sense to you. So yeah, so I really enjoyed making this one. It has kind of everything that I love, the plastic and the plants. So it's just a study, and I decided to take a green background for that one because I do like the colors and how they are. Actually, I kind of want to make a proper painting with these. I went to the thrift store, I don't remember when, maybe January already, and I grabbed a bunch of plastic things. So you have to understand that. I mean, technically you could probably use these, but I won't. I mean, I will use them for my artwork. Maybe I'm going to do sculptures on them. I haven't decided yet. But yeah, basically the thrift store where I get them, so it's Emmaüs, which that's like the most common one in France. They have a space that is outdoors, and so you have all kinds of things, and you have those huge bins with all kinds of plastic stuff, and yeah, there is a lot. So I don't really feel bad about taking these because there are many more there, and if people are actually trying to find something like that over there, then yeah, there's plenty more. So yeah, so I took a bunch of things that I liked. So this is the one that I used for this one. And just because I liked the colors together, and I already had the idea to make a painting about it. So yeah, so today I don't know if I'm going to have time to make a personal oil study, but the study that I'm going to work on, we have pictures that we need to study, and this is the grayscale, and basically, as I said, you have to just mix the colors, and everything that is in the shadow has to be gray. I already prepped the canvas, and I'm just going to mix the colors. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And if I have time, then I might do an oil study that is more fun. Now this is where I stock my oils. This is a sticker that a friend sent me. She's called Monica, so you can give her a follow if you'd like. She does those really cute drawings, ink drawings. She usually works with ink and watercolors, and her stickers are always really fun, and yeah, she sent me some. And today I finally got an idea to put it on this box. So it's a cardboard box. It's actually a tea box. But repurposed, and I store all of the oil paints that I have. So all of these minus those 3, so everything here was sent from Evolve, so yeah, they're pretty serious about it. It's a really good brand. It's a very expensive brand as well. It's very highly pigmented, And these are all the colors that you get. Now, I am a bit peculiar about my color choices, and that's why I bought other reds, because I really like oils and I already have some ideas to work with them, and I cannot live without PR122 quinacridone magenta. So I got this one. And then I usually really like Pyrrole Red, and I could not find it in Old Holland, so I just took it with my favorite brand, which is Schminke. I haven't used them yet. I'm not going to use them for studies. Honestly, oil paints are so expensive, it's kind of ridiculous. So yeah, but I have them, and the moment I will work on these on a proper final painting, then I will be replacing those two reds, which with my reds, which I much more prefer. And then I made another purchase, which seems maybe a little bit excessive, but so far I've been using these disposable paper palettes that Evolve is providing you with. But I have a bit of an issue with the palette that you throw away, and especially there's always paint left, and yeah, so that was the first issue. And then even though the paint, actually you could use it the day after or something like that, it does end up drying faster without any protection. And I didn't have any box of that size to put it in, so I actually found this Master Son palette last year, I think, and I really hesitated before buying it because yeah, it's kind of big, but I recently bought it, so mostly because I'm sick of throwing the paint away, but also because my boyfriend doesn't like the smell of oils at all, and so when he comes home in the evening, yeah, he really doesn't like it, and it gives him headaches, and so I have to throw it away. So now I have this box. I took a glass palette, and yeah, that's basically it. I hope I'm going to be happy with it. And I took the clear palette. Now, most artists will tell you it's easier to work on something that is gray, like this one. But I figured if I really need to put something, then I'd rather have something neutral, and I always can add this here underneath if I need it. And yeah, then it's pretty good. I'm not sure, I prefer actually white because I'm used to mixing colors, watercolors on white in ceramic palettes or ceramic plates or porcelain plates. So yeah, I don't think I will need it, but if you ever wonder about getting a glass palette, then yeah, I would recommend going with something that is clear. You can always add a sheet of paper underneath. I thought I was going to check in with you. As usual, it's just a little bit afternoon, and so it's soon the time to eat. And I always have a moment where I don't feel like working too much. So I've been editing this vlog that you're watching, and well, this month didn't go to plan at all. I am currently editing this caterpillar class for the ceramic conference, so here some caterpillars that I'm going to show during this class, and yeah, it has been taking 2 weeks, almost 1 week, to kind of decide on the shape. So this is the final, almost anatomically correct shape, or actually anatomically correct shape that I'm going to show, and the process of it. And then I made a few variations, and I still have this one to paint, so I thought I was going to paint that one while we chat a little. So yeah, this month has been a little bit crazy, especially this class has taken up all of my mind, sort of. I'm not sure why it was so stressful. I think I had a hard time deciding what to do. The first sculptures that I did, I really didn't like them. And yeah, just kind of, everything was kind of messy after a while. And now I am in the process of editing the class, and I almost decided not to edit the vlog because I felt like it was all over the place. I don't have a difficulty filming what I'm doing, but I tend to forget to talk about my work. And then, you know, we're in that weird situation where I have a lot of footage of me working, but I don't say a word. And then it's just, you know, me working, and I'm like, should I do a voiceover? But I don't know what to say. And yeah, and then I just give up. So I decided, no, you decided to make vlogs this year. I mean, at least give it a fair try. So this is my attempt to do that. It's going to be quite a long one, and I hope it's going to be helpful. Now, in the vlog, I'm talking about how to get gallery representation, and I just mentioned that you actually don't need it. And since we have a little bit of time while I paint my tiny caterpillar in pink shades, I want to kind of expand on what I meant by that. Now, when you work with galleries, it's actually quite expensive to work with galleries, as they will take usually about 50%, so half of the price goes to the galleries. So if you sell an artwork for 1,000 euros, you are actually getting just 500. And this is also why I would encourage you to make sure that your artworks are priced correctly and have gallery prices, because the moment you decide to work with galleries, if you only have studio prices, it's going to be quite shocking to double all of your prices at once. And generally speaking, galleries prefer it when your prices on your websites are coherent with gallery prices. So so-called studio prices are okay only if someone comes physically to your studio, and then you can offer them your artwork at half the price of gallery prices. But if you sell online, it's really better. It's better practice to have the same prices as your galleries, because you don't want to be in competition with the galleries you work with, because otherwise they will stop working with you. So unless you don't want to work with a gallery anymore, then maybe that could be a good thing. But yeah, so something to keep in mind. And this is also why for some artists it might be better, especially if you're starting out, to not go through galleries, because you can sell online pretty easily now. There are many websites where that you can use, but even if you just have social media, a YouTube account or Instagram or whatnot, nowadays it's actually kind of easy to sell your work yourself, because you can easily showcase it, you can make pictures of it, you can talk about it in a way that is correct to you, and that way you don't have to charge quite as much, and you can sell prints and things like that. So there are many options as a beginner artist to make a living out of your artwork without going through galleries. So don't feel like being into galleries is like the ultimate goal. I personally like to work with galleries because I prefer having them deal with customers and collectors. And I kind of like working for specific themes or specific shows. So I quite enjoy working with galleries, but you really don't have to. And there are enough examples of very successful artists that absolutely don't go through galleries, or very rarely. So yeah, that's just something that I wanted to say, as we tend to think galleries is the actual must. But it actually isn't all that much. I don't really have anything more to say about the galleries, I think, and I'm going to wrap up this vlog pretty soon because we are the 29th of March and I would like to get it out before the end of March, and hopefully next month I can be more organized about it. So I just wrapped up my class about the caterpillars, and now I just wanted the last chit chat with you guys. I didn't mention it all that much, but Evolve has been sponsoring me in a way, in the sense that they gave me free access to the first 4 blogs. And so I just wanted to give a quick shout out at the end of the video. If you want to try out Evolve, I have a specific dedicated link below where you can get a better deal at their workshops. I've been enjoying getting back into oils with Evolve. I think it's best suited to beginners, and I must admit that as a more advanced artist, I do get bored sometimes. But I'm still really glad they reached out to me because I've wanted to go back to oils for a while. And this gave me the opportunity, but also the rigidity and the framing of an art school, and they keep tabs on me, so I kind of have to do it, but that also means that I actually evolve without wanting to make a bad pun about it. So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed today's vlog. And everything I did today. I know it was a bit all over the place. I'm still trying to find the best ways on doing these vlogs. I know some people do it every week, but that seems like way too much work. So I'm going to keep it once a month, and other more specific videos when I have time or when I have something to share. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. Let me know if you enjoy these vlogs. If you made it this far into the video, well, props to you, because it's a really long video. And what could you say? Let's just say oil studies are super inspiring. Yeah, do that and leave this in the comments so I know that you actually watched it until the end. I'm really glad that you came with me in this video and shared some of your time with me. I hope you enjoyed it. And like always, I really hope to see you in my next one. Bye!